focus on what happened at the Dadri village 10 years ago, and Akhlaq today, still no justice delivered, where the Uttar Pradesh police is actually looking at taking back the cases against the 19 accused. Joining me for more, Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, Anila Singh, national spokesperson, BJP, Swati Khanna, advocate, Delhi High Court. I'd like to begin with Swati. Swati is somebody who's taken many cases such as this in the past, that is. Swati, would you take a moment to reflect? It's been a decade. You know, at that point of time, multiple media debates, you had the Home Minister then, Mr. Rajnath Singh, come out and say that strongest action would be taken for anyone who's trying to, bring communal disharmony. All of that is now faded. Strangely, the Uttar Pradesh government has decided to withdraw the case, drop the case against the 19 accused.
Thank you. Thank you for first calling me to this discussion. I just want to say that this is not shocking to me because I feel that this is the modus operandi of the state. Why? Because even though it's an egregious, horrendous act of ruling power in collusion with the murderers, I still see that the person who commits a crime is a murderer, but the person who hides the crime, aids the murderer, is also an accomplice. So I would call the state here an accomplice to the murder. And it is not just murder, it's cold blood murder. And it's still, when I was listening to your story, it still sends chill down my spine when I hear that a mob led by BJP local leader's son and his cousin, everybody went to his house and killed the person, and also the son who was also grievously injured. Now the case is still going on. Now, first of all, justice is not delivered. That is for sure. Justice is also delayed. First of all, 10 years have passed. There's no conviction, no acquittal. Case still on evidence stage. Now, yes, I did deal with a few other cases where I have been defending some accused who are human rights activists under UAPA. They are languishing in jail 5+ years without a trial. Here the trial is going on. They got a bail in 302. They are out. Now the government has the audacity to blatantly come out and file such an application at the 321 or 360 corresponding to BNSS. And I just have to question myself that as young lawyers and also lawyers who are officers of court, we just don't have to follow the letter of law which says 321, section 321. Okay, there's a section 321 which allows you to withdraw the case, but there's also something called spirit of law. Where is the spirit of law here? Now, I do understand that this application is pending and it has to be decided on December 12, if I'm not wrong. So on December 12, I would urge that, I hope that the learned session judge dismisses this application.
Swati, okay, you had 2 minutes, those are over. Anila Singh, we're going to give you 2 extra minutes because we have a 2 against 1 panel, and primarily it's happened is because the prosecution, from the side of those 19 accused, or the lawyer of the 19 accused, chose not to come. So Anila Singh, I'm going to come back to you and then we'll go to Tehseen and we'll come back to you. But Anila Singh, the government has given, and that's your government. You represent the Uttar Pradesh government. You're a spokesperson for the Uttar Pradesh government. Therefore, we have you on the show. 5 reasons, Anila Singh, that the government has given on why they need to drop the cases against the 19 accused. Number 1, the family of Akhlaq allegedly changed their testimonies over time. On record, the family says that they have not changed their testimonies. They have identified 12 of the 19 accused, and they continue to do so. Identified 12 of the 19 accused. Number 2, and tell me, Anila Singh, if you don't find this bizarre, that this is what, the government says, that reportedly that investigating team only recovered rods, iron rods, bricks and sticks. No sharp weapon was recovered. Therefore, how can a person be beaten to death or lynched? I would reckon you would understand that iron rods were recovered, bricks were recovered. Number 3, the application claims there was no documented prior hostility. So just because Akhlaq and the 19 accused did not have prior animosity or enmity, therefore, how can they actually come and kill Akhlaq? Number 4, the state invokes the right to equal protection, arguing that every citizen has the right to defend themselves. Number 5, and this is a little bizarre, the state says that the withdrawal is a step to restore social harmony in a polarized society. Ma'am, I would think, let's begin with number 5, we'll come to number 2, is taking steps, speedy deliverance of justice would be something that will deliver social harmony. And number 2, you tell me, ma'am, iron rod, brick, is that enough to kill somebody, or do you really need a sharp weapon or an arm, a rifle?
My Ram Ram to all, and Priti, I am not expert in doing murders, and I am not a detective. I am not a police officer, so I do not know by which weapons you can kill and by which weapons you cannot kill. So I won't be able to comment on the question which you have asked me right now. But let me, to start with, first of all, let me make it absolutely clear that the Dadri incident is not only obnoxious, it is tragic, it is condemnable. And my government, my political party, totally criticize it. And we do not support any sort of mob violence. But Preeti, here in democracy, justice has to be based on facts, evidence, and due process. Like not on political narratives or the media trials or on the sentiments. Just now I was listening to the advocate Swati, and she was saying that the present government in Uttar Pradesh is accomplice in this murder. Perhaps she doesn't know the case properly. That is why she's making such comments. And as an advocate, she must know this thing, that any trial or any justice is not given on the basis of any sort of sentiments. All right. So proper investigation with facts, with evidences, everything should be there, and then the justice is delivered. Just now she was making all sentimental speech as any politician could have done. And you narrated the 5 things which the prosecutor has pleaded in the court, that why this case under section 321 should be withdrawn. And I am pretty sure that the honorable court is wise enough and knows all the legalities before it is going to take any sort of step or the justice will be delivered. So why it is being taken that Bharatiya Janata Party government in Uttar Pradesh simply wants to polarize. Let me complete.
I'll come back to you. You'll get your 2 minutes later. Ma'am, you're going to get 2 extra minutes than the panel because, like I said, it's 2:1. But I'll come back to the point which you said that you're not an expert. But ma'am, you know, I think you're a very, very smart lady. I've had you on my show multiple times, and you would know and understand and accept that iron rod is enough to lynch someone and kill them. And I would think you'd understand that. Any smart person would, and you're very, very smart. But I'll come back to you later, and I'll also come back to you on other points on why is the government being bought in? Because the government has chosen to drop the cases on these reasons. It is, of course, the courts to decide whether or not they accept the plea. But Tehseen, I want to bring you into this conversation because 10 years too late, absolutely no justice, and, contradictory. And the irony of it is that today you have a state government that wants to drop a charge on the basis of social harmony, the sheer fact on why justice needs to be delivered.
Thank you for having me on the show, Preeti. Good evening to my fellow panelists and to your viewers. Point number 1. These are serious charges of murder 302, 307 that have been put on the accused. These cannot simply be dropped like that. In the Supreme Court judgment of Tehseen Poonawala versus Union of India, specifically on mob lynching, there were guidelines of how investigation would be carried out, how trial would be carried out. All of these have been violated by the state. Now let's see what Anila Singh says. She says very eruditely that, listen, the facts will speak for themselves. So what are the facts? She's correct on that. The facts is the statements that the state speaks about, that the statements have been inconsistent, were actually given under 164 to the magistrate. These are statements that are ironclad given to the magistrate. They haven't changed. How does the state now interfere and say, oh, the statement given to a magistrate is prima facie wrong or not wrong? That is for the court of law to decide. I have for the first time heard in my life that you cannot murder with iron rods or sticks or bricks or what have you. So the next time you're going on the road and there's an accident and a mob comes up and kills somebody, hey, you know what? Since you just had iron rods, you didn't murder anybody because you didn't have weapons. And by the way, that is also the argument for no prior enmity. So if there's a street accident and then a mob catches and kills somebody, we just have to say nobody killed anybody because there's no prior enmity. In this particular case, the statement of the family is on record, and I'd gone to Dadri when this incident had happened, saying that the meat samples have also been tampered with. That also has not been withdrawn. For the state to attempt to intervene this way, while the trial is in evidence stage, shows that the state is scared and is trying to protect its own people who've now joined the BJP. These are the Rana people who've joined the BJP. It does not go with the vision of the nation. It is anti-constitutional. And I will take up this case in the Honorable Supreme Court. And the violations of my case, if they try to do this, they will have to face defeat.
All right, Swati, thank you for joining us. I want to give the last 4 minutes to Anila as well as, Tehseen Poonawala. But Anila Singh, coming back to you, ma'am, your 2 minutes begin now because you went on to state that why is everyone blaming the BJP government in Uttar Pradesh? Nobody's quite blaming the Bharatiya Janata Party government, ma'am. But questions today need to be asked. At the back of number one, what the reasons your government is giving to withdraw the case against 19 individuals who today stand connected to your own party. I will hark you back 10 years on. This is the same case, Anila Singh, where a member of your own political party who was a cabinet minister then took an Indian flag and draped that Indian flag on one of the accused of murdering Akhlaq. So there is context to it. And today, the government, on the pretext, the grounds are so flimsy, anyone can see through that. To protect social harmony, one needs to withdraw the cases. I would think it would be on the contrary, Anila Singh. You'd understand that.
Okay, Preeti, I will make 3-4 quick points here. Number one, I will say that the present government, like you, everybody like Tehseen and you and one of my co-panelists who is sitting here as an advocate, they are saying that the government is accomplice in it, and how come the government can go ahead and request the court to take off all the charges from the
I'm not saying government is accomplice. Even I don't think Tehseen is saying that. But the government to do so is answerable. Go ahead, ma'am, make your point.
Swati had said that. Okay. So the government has only made a request. It is not a verdict. The final decision rests with the honorable court. What decision they have to take. It is not on the executive, but on the judiciary. So anyone saying that the government has given clean chit is totally a misleading statement. Secondly, I just want to know from the Samajwadi Party government, I would have loved if somebody from Samajwadi Party would have been here.
Ma'am, can I hold your time? I'd like to hold your time. And I want to ask you a question. You says nobody's saying the government's given a clean chit. How is it that the government's not given a clean chit where the government has put in a petition to drop all charges against the 19 accused? The government believes they're innocent then.
No, government has not declared anybody innocent here.
Why ask the charges to be dropped?
Allow me. You're giving me 4 minutes. I think I should be given at least some time to speak myself. You have asked me that, yes, your government has given a clean chit. On this, I am saying that the prosecutor is going to place all the facts and the evidences, and ultimately, judiciary has to take the decision that the evidences are supporting the things which are being told by the prosecutor. And I need to ask the Samajwadi Party government that why didn't they ensure strong evidences? Why didn't they secure a single solid forensic chain? Why were contradictory statements allowed to enter the record? Why? They did it. Because the earlier investigation itself was casual, politically influenced, and it was the hurried one. And under the current government, Preeti, I'll say one thing, that the law and order is stronger, police accountability is higher, and cases are reviewed on merits, and then they are taken to the court, and the court has to decide.
I don't understand why you're blaming the Samajwadi Party, but, there's no time for that. Tehseen, your 2 minutes begin now.
Look, let me just tell Anila Singhji that whatever the statements was, what finally counts is the statement before the magistrate in the court of law, which the family has been consistent with. A government can't go back in time and say, this is what happened, that's what happened. What's on record stays. They are challenging that. The public prosecutor is acting on orders of the government of Uttar Pradesh. Therefore, the government of Uttar Pradesh is trying to diffuse this case. Now, the idea is communal harmony, therefore to create communal harmony. I think communal harmony would better be created if we don't have a mob that lynches or murders people. Today, this is a Muslim man who's being murdered. Tomorrow, what if it's a woman, a third gender, somebody of another religion, another caste? Is this acceptable? And then somebody comes and says, for communal harmony, it's okay, somebody got murdered, let's withdraw the case. What kind of a reasoning in this? In law, like in life, one is pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. You can't withdraw cases because we have to ensure communal harmony. To ensure communal harmony, the government has to ensure crime doesn't take place. And to ensure crime doesn't take place, those who are accused of perpetrating a horrific barbaric crime should be punished, not be made members of the BJP and not be and a tricolor which we drape upon those who've been martyred for India should not be draped upon those who've involved in allegedly mob lynching. The fact that rods, the fact that sticks, the fact that bricks are found, the fact that a family is victimized for something that they may or may not have had in their fridge. Let me go ahead and say, even if they had something wrong in their fridge, does the law allow mobs to, are we allowed to take the law into our hands? I think the Uttar Pradesh government would be better served, the people of India would be better served if the law of the land prevails. That where there is no justice, there you will not get investments. Where there is no justice and law, you will not have harmony. For harmony to prevail, the first law is justice should be delivered. That was the law Lord Krishna said while revealing the Gita to Arjuna.
You have 1 minute, Anila Singh, to respond, and then I'm going to close the debate. We're giving you that extra minute, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, Preeti, I was waiting for this statement, and ultimately, Mr. Tehseen Poonawala, he made it. He made it all about Hindu and Muslim here. He did not see it from the point of view that anybody like who attacked and the person who got attacked are the citizens of Uttar Pradesh, and law is equal for everybody. But here he wants to communalize. Bharatiya Janata Party doesn't want to communalize. Bharatiya Janata Party says that, okay, whatever the judiciary is going to say, we are going to say, fine. Okay, government is keeping facts in front of the court. But here, Mr. Poonawala is communalizing. This is what I want
Ma'am,
to
I'll hold your time.
I'll
I'll hold your time. Allow me to ask you a counter question. The nature of the crime in itself was communal, ma'am. You do understand why Akhlaq was lynched. You do understand that, right? He was lynched because he was accused of storing beef. He was lynched because he was accused of cow slaughter. That in itself is communal.
So this becomes a reason to get the whole atmosphere communalized. All right, you are not going to see from the magnifying glass of peace and harmony, which should be prevail in our state.
Ma'am, you know, I think I actually am at a loss of words because I would think peace and harmony to prevail would mean deliverance of justice. There's in 10 seconds and I'm going into a break.
Yeah, it's just the same thing. Peace and harmony means justice be given, and mobs don't come form mobs and go kill somebody based on any identity, be it religious, caste, or gender. That's when peace and harmony will prevail.
You know, we're going to leave it at that, but this is a story we're going to keep a keen eye on because there's lots that goes on where TV debates are concerned. Lot is debated, very few topics of relevance. 10 years ago, this man was lynched. Who lynched him? Today, there is an attempt to exonerate all 19 that were accused in this case. The matter, of course, lies with the court and the intelligence, wisdom of the court.